Well, a day after Joburg Pride, organisers are celebrating a successful event. Sadly, though, lesbian, bisexual and transgender women face violence at the hands of both strangers and, more sadly, their own partners. So let's now speak about the LGBTQI community. Here's rights campaigner Steve Letsike, who I haven't spoken to for some time. Steve, good to see you again. I appreciate the time that you always give us. So a successful event to be celebrated, but not much to celebrate for the community. And I suppose that's where we've got this juxtaposed position, don't we? Let's start with the event first, if we can. What kind of significant importance does it hold so you and I can talk about the community? What did you make of the event?
No, thank you so much for the invite, Garrett, and good morning to the viewers of the NCA. Look, Pride holds an important significance to the community because it remains a protest, it remains a space where LGBTI people come together to affirm, their existence, to create visibility, to educate the public, but also to celebrate, moments of their life. It's always been a case about how people are accepted, tolerated within their families, but also they are seen for who they are. We have suffered for long discrimination, criminalization in other countries, even here in the past because of colonization. And I think it has always been the significance of essence, how to bring together LGBTI organizations, LGBTI people, LGBTI families in a space to celebrate, existence.
There is always a fear, though, Steve, tell me what you think, is that we all begin to talk about Pride in the few days before it, and we'll probably do it for the next 24 to 48 hours. And then it all seems to be forgotten about as well, and I suppose that's the issue, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, look, that has always been an issue to many of us, because when you speak about Pride and existence, people exist every day. It doesn't change and it doesn't stop anywhere. If we are going to be talking about, people or challenges or issues, it's always the case about when and how we do it. I think it becomes a norm in when we want to be educating. But I think media has played a role. I don't want us to shy away from how media consistently tries to put the issue back on the table, whether recognizing other important days where there's commemoration or even remembrance for that matter. I think we can do better in terms of the content that is brought to the public, consistently, so that it doesn't become a momentum just in October in South Africa because Pride is commemorated at that time.
Help me understand that. So I want to just get your thoughts on the way that the media can do more. Help me understand. Teach me here. How would we do that? How do we take what we had yesterday as ongoing live coverage? We had a reporter there. There's photographs. There's a lot of coverage about yesterday. Of course there was. How do we, as the media, do better at this?
Look, I think for me, Garrett, it's really about the content we want to be bringing. Whether we're talking about economic challenges, whether we're talking about gender-based violence, whether we're talking about broader human rights, whether we're talking social issues, every day there's always a challenge. The lessons have always been, when we talk about people, we always have to draw on the vulnerable and marginalized population, because the idea that we use media as part of the social behavior change, because media is an instrument of education, of information. It holds power in society. So for me, if we are going to look at, using the space of media to communicate information, we have to be intentional in bringing content forward, intentional in bringing people forward. The same way you were able to invite us into the space, it becomes a consistent space about bringing the diversity of information, diversity of themes, diversity of diversity of content that really can change everybody's life. The same way we can speak about intersectional lens, with the same way we can speak about women in all their diversity. I think we really can change people's life. We've done it in the past. Around HIV, and I think we are even lacking now, where if HIV became an everyday issue, where we're saying people must take ARVs, people must prevent, and so forth. But we don't have to lose the essence of education and information, because these are still important issues for us. Gender-based violence is an important issue for us. We need to change society, and changing society is always putting the information forward to the public so that we can turn these toxic elements in society into a better living for everybody.
Let's talk not just discrimination, Steve, as well, but protection, shall we? And unfortunately, I'm sure you know where I'm going to go when it comes to how the police handle cases of GBV and violence against the community of LGBTQI plus and all of their community members as well. Are we seeing an improvement? Perhaps a last answer from you. Are we seeing an improvement in how police assist the community, or is it the same conversation you and I probably had last year and the year before and the year before?
Look, I think there's been some bit of improvement, and we want to really acknowledge that, because if you reflect in all these years that we've been talking about hate crimes and gender-based violence, there has been an essence of a rapid response team established by South African Police Service, but also, most importantly, by the Department of Justice. The point that consistently still remains, we still have 88% of LGBTI people who do not report hate crimes or any human rights violation against them, because there's still that fear, about being outed or secondary victimization and so forth. But in terms of handling cases where we see there's an intention of investigating officers or detective that really takes the matters forward. I mean, we've seen it with all the cases that have been reported. Last month, we had a meeting with the Department of Justice through the National Task Team, and we were looking at some of the prospects of success of these cases, the role SAPS is playing, but also the role that National Prosecuting Authority is playing. There's been a number of cases that were taken back. If you take in KwaZulu-Natal, 10 hate crime cases were taken back to saying, what is happening? Let's verify this. And it has to go back in terms of how it's managed. So I think that there's opportunity for improvement of the competency. There's opportunities to actually do it even in a faster manner, because we do not want to see any justice delayed, but we can actually get to a point where we limit or we prevent or we eradicate hate crimes if we start creating visibility more and more, and even police visibility into ensuring that there isn't additional crimes taking place.
What a wonderful world that would be to live in, wouldn't it be, Steve? I always appreciate your time, and I hope to speak to you soon. LGBTQI plus rights campaigner, always very, very happy to give time. Steve Letsike joining us here on